No alien child dared look in the eyes of the galaxy's deadliest alien dragon, except Lee. Beginning. The tales of the Krexith, the galaxy's deadliest alien dragon, were whispered in hushed tones across the Orion clusters. Her name was SRYTH, and no child, no elder, no warrior dared meet her gaze. It was said her eyes held the weight of supernovas. Her breath could strip atmospheres from planets, and her scales were woven from the remnants of collapsed stars. She was a living weapon, birthed during the cosmic wars of millennia past. Entire fleets had burned trying to destroy her. When human expansion reached the edges of Krex's space, even the bravest captains rerouted their ships rather than tempt fate. For generations, a rule was etched into the minds of children from dozens of worlds. Do not look into the dragon's eyes. If she sees your soul, it is hers. On the colony world of Vela 9, an orphan girl namely had never known parents or comfort. She was 7 years old and had grown up in the cracks of the megacity, a child of the alleys, with dust in her hair and hunger gnawing at her belly. She had heard the stories of SRYDH, of course. Everyone had, but unlike the other children, Lee never felt fear. Lee's nights were filled with strange dreams. She saw flashes of great dragons swimming through nebulae, her wings cutting starlight into ribbons. She saw eyes, blazing pools of violet, that never frightened her, only filled her with a warmth she could not name. The other children mocked her when she spoke of it. "You'll get eaten first," they laughed. "The dragon will swallow you whole." But Lee, stubborn and strange, only smiled. "Maybe she's lonely," she whispered. Middle. The turning point came when the Union of Colonies dispatched a fleet to Vela 9. Scouts had reported ARYTH's presence in the system, circling the gas giant Yandros with her colossal body like a serpent guarding treasure. Fear surged across the colony, and officials declared martial law. "No ships in or out," the governor ordered. "If the dragon comes here, we're finished." The fleet's admiral, a severe man named Varric, announced to the public, "We will confront this creature. If she threatens Vela 9, we will eliminate her. No alien beast, no matter how ancient, is above the might of the Union." But his words didn't inspire courage. Everyone knew fleets had tried before. Everyone knew fleets had failed. Lee listened to all of it while crouched atop a rusted vent in the lower city. She didn't believe SHRYTH was coming to destroy them. She felt it deep inside her chest, the way a bird feels a storm before it breaks. SHRYTH was searching. That night, Lee's dream was sharper than ever. She stood on a barren moon, her feet sinking into pale dust. Across from her stood the dragon, wings furled, violet eyes glowing like twin suns. The dragon lowered her head until her snout was only an arm's length away. "Why do you not fear me?" the voice boomed inside her skull. Lee swallowed. "Because I think you're sad." The dragon's great jaw trembled. Then she woke. The following days brought panic. SRYTH moved closer to Vela 9, her massive form blotting out the stars. Civilian transmissions caught glimpses. Wings so wide they shadowed cities. A tail that spanned valleys. A single roar that rattled orbiting satellites. The people of Vela 9 sealed themselves indoors. Children wept in bunkers. But Lee wandered toward the starport. Something in her small heart told her this was the moment from her dreams. The military had arrayed their forces above the planet. Frigates, cruisers, carriers, and drones. They opened fire first, as they always did. The void lit with plasma storms and railgun barges. And SRYTH endured it. The dragon roared, and a wave of energy rippled out, shorting entire squadrons. With a sweep of her wings, she batted cruisers into fragments. Her tail lashed, and dreadnoughts cracked like eggshells. Within hours, The Union fleet was crippled. The governor's desperate voice rang through planetary channels. Evacuate the children! Save who you can. But Lee did not run. She followed the vibrations in her chest until she stood alone on the open tarmac of the starport, the sky above her torn with flame and shadow. Through the smoke, SHR-YTH descended. Her body eclipsed the cityscape, and her talons dug furrows into the earth. Soldiers fled. Civilians wailed. No one dared look at her eyes. Except Lee. The little girl tilted her chin upward, her dirt-streaked face calm, her wide black eyes unblinking. The dragon's massive head lowered. Her nostrils flared, hot enough to sear stone. Her eyes burned violet. The ground shook as SHR-YTH's shadow consumed Lee's small body. Every being watching from bunkers and surveillance feeds held their breath. The dragon spoke, not with her maw, but directly into the marrow of their bones. Why do you look into me, child? Lee's lips trembled, but not with fear. Because you're not here to kill us. You're here for me. Silence. The dragon's eyes narrowed, studying the fragile creature before her. Memories older than galaxies stirred within NAOIH's mind. A pact long forgotten. A prophecy written in stellar fire. She saw threads of fate, luminous and binding, and at the center stood this small human child. SHR-YTH lowered her body until her colossal head rested upon the cracked pavement, her eyes level with Lee's. And Lee, without hesitation, placed her tiny hand against the dragon's snout. The universe seemed to exhale. The bond. In that moment, all of Vela, 9 witnessed what none thought possible. The galaxy's deadliest dragon did not devour, did not burn, did not destroy. She bowed. Lee's connection awakened something buried in NAOIH's ancient being. The dragon had been bred for war, engineered by precursors to end civilizations. But in her eyes, Lee saw not a monster. She saw a creature who had never been given a choice to be anything else. For the first time, SHR-YTH felt forgiven. The colonists didn't understand. The military saw danger still. Admiral Vera barked orders to fire again, to annihilate both dragon and child if necessary. But before the fleet could regroup, SHR-YTH unfurled her wings, shielding Lee in a cocoon of starlit scales. Weapons fire broke harmlessly across her. The dragon's voice thundered across every comm channel. This child is under my protection. Harm her and you forfeit your worlds. The governor, trembling, called off the attack. From that day forward, Lee became known as the child who looked, the only living being to meet NAOIH's gaze and survive. Ending. Over the years, Lee grew, always at SHR-YTH's side. She rode upon the dragon's back through asteroid belts, sailed across nebulae, and watched supernovas collapse into silence. The bond between them deepened, child and dragon tethered by something greater than fear. Together, they reshaped the galaxy's balance. Worlds that once cowered in terror now treated with SR-YTH through Lee's voice. War ceased where the dragon's shadow fell. Some called Lee an ambassador, others a saint, but to SR-YTH, she was simply the first friend she had ever known. Admiral Varric, bitter until his last breath, tried once more to hunt them, leading fleets into forbidden space. None returned. His name was forgotten, but the legend of Lee and the dragon endured. By the time he was grown, songs were sung of how a single child had stared into the abyss and found not death, but kinship. No alien child, no human child, no creature of any kind had dared what she did. And in the end, when Lee's years grew few, she rested her head against NAOIH's scales and whispered, "You were never the deadliest dragon. You were the loneliest." The dragon's eyes shimmered like collapsing stars, and for the first time in her endless existence, SHR-YTH wept. The galaxy would never forget.